Brown, and today I've got what I hope is a fun video planned. Today I'm going to go onto Reddit and I'm going to read some controversial gaming opinions and I'm going to give my opinion on them. This is actually pretty similar to the first video I ever did on this channel, which was reading Resident Evil fan theories on Reddit before Requiem came out, so I figured we can just do that again, but with more general gaming opinions. If you want me to do another Reddit video and you have any ideas for it, please do let me know in the comments, but without any further ado, let's get started. So if I just look up... Okay, so I've looked up controversial gaming opinions and there are multiple threads for us to go through. Okay, for now I'm going to go with this top one here because it has the most comments, so it has the most stuff for us to read through, and it's the most recent, so hopefully we'll get some recent opinions. Personally, I'm sick of the scattered lore notes technique. I don't want to keep halting the pace of the game to read pages of backstory. So my opinion on this, I'm actually quite a fan of reading into stories a lot. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Little Nightmares series, and most of the lore of that game is kind of people just reading into all the background stuff, or all the kind of context clues you get given in the game. And I like that technique. I know some people would probably prefer to just be told the story as you play, but I don't mind stopping and getting to read some extra stuff. Although I do think it's better if the notes you find around the place are extra lore and not like crucial to the story, because not everyone is gonna want to stop and read stuff. I'm the kind of person who, if I get really into something, I will want to know everything about it. And I do mean everything. So that's the kind of thing I enjoy in video games, but I know not everyone is super into that. Okay, now let's get into some of the other comments. We don't need better graphics anymore. The more detailed games become, the more they cost to make, the less likely companies will take risks. It's a never-ending cycle of games becoming more generic and boring. We just need good games. And what I'm gonna say here seems to differ from what a lot of the internet says. I don't really care for hyper-realistic games all that much. I mean, sure, do they look cool? Yeah. Is it really weird that they look like real people? Yeah, but if someone were to ask me what my favourite graphic style of a video game is, I will 100% every single time say pixel graphics. I think pixel art can be absolutely gorgeous, and it is and will always be my favourite kind of video game. Two games that I play quite a lot of are Stardew Valley and Dave the Diver. So think that kind of vibe. And I really wish I could do pixel art because I just love it. I actually am trying to learn, but it's surprisingly quite difficult to get it to look good. If I were to ever make a video game, which I would love to do, I would do it in pixel graphics. But yeah, the more companies start putting into making every game that's ultra hyper realistic, the more it's going to cost us as consumers as well to purchase. Think about GTA 6, isn't that going to be like crazy expensive? And actually, off the top of that, here's another controversial opinion I have. I don't really care much about GTA 6. Like, I played maybe 3 or 4 hours of the story of GTA 5, and I found it so boring. And maybe that story just isn't for me, but I know for a fact I don't care about GTA 6, and I'm not gonna care until online comes out. I have like 100-something hours on GTA, and pretty much 98% of those are from me playing online. I just kind of think it's the superior way to play it. I don't care much for the story of GTA games, which is weird considering Rockstar made RDR2, which is my all-time favourite game. That is not a controversial opinion though, and I know it's not. Okay, but I'm getting distracted of what this comment actually said, which is about the graphics. If all companies start to make these ultra-realistic games, everything will start to become a bit boring. I would love to see like AAA companies making more stylized games. If Pokemon were to ever make a Gen 5 remake, I would love to see it in pixel graphics. I know it would never happen because it would lose them a lot of money, but oh my god, I would love it. But at the same time, I do think these kind of realistic graphics can look really nice. I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword. If they take the risk and make a stylized game, people will complain that it's not a realistic game, and if they make another realistic game, people will complain that it's another realistic game. I feel like that's just the trouble of being on the internet. People will find a reason to complain about everything. Okay, let's move on to another one. Subtitles on should be default. I don't want to struggle through badly audio mixed cutscenes or miss my mission parameters because I had to wait for the cutscenes to be over to turn on subtitles. Okay, I'm the kind of person who anything I watch needs to have subtitles on. Mainly because sometimes I just don't hear what people say. But also, I just prefer watching things with subtitles. I just find it so much easier to concentrate if there's subtitles on. And I have that same opinion on video games. I always have the subtitles turned on. But this person saying they have to wait for cutscenes to be able to turn on subtitles, generally, you can just turn them on in the main menu before you even start the game. Like most games, you just scroll down to settings, subtitles on, boom. Don't even have to start the game yet. But I do agree, I much prefer playing video games with subtitles on. I prefer everything with subtitles on. Games don't have to be hard or impossible to be fun. Okay, I'm just gonna say this here. I've been playing video games for most, if not practically all of my life. And I would in general say I'm not very good at them. And I'm also a person who gets frustrated very, very easily if something's difficult. I know some games are kind of built to be difficult, or there's like sections of games that are built to be difficult, but I think just making it difficult for the sake of making it difficult doesn't make it fun. But if I am struggling with a game, I will just turn it to easy. And I think this is something that's also really frowned upon generally in video games, making them easier. But gaming's supposed to be like a hobby that you enjoy. And if someone isn't enjoying a game because they find it too difficult, I really don't understand why it's so bad if they just make it easier for themselves. Like, sure, if you enjoy hard games, go for it. Like, my brother really loves games like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne. He loves all those kind of games, and he says that the difficulty is part of the fun for him. I think the closest I've ever come to a game like that is Cult of the Lamb, and I love Cult of the Lamb. It's such a good game, and I don't think it's that difficult, but also I have it on easy, so I generally just think enjoy a game how you want to enjoy it. If you want to make the game easy, make the game easy. If you want to make the game hard, make the game hard. Just play it how you want to play it, and don't let anyone tell you you're doing it wrong. And I will stand by that opinion. Oh, here we go. Here's someone talking about it. It's perfectly fine to play single-player games in the easiest difficulty instead of normal if you're just playing the game for the story. Resident Evil is the first game series that comes to mind as someone who's currently playing through all the games from beginning to end for the first time to get the whole lore. I'll admit it, I'm no good at video games, and I hate the stress of tight inventory management, so I play in easy difficulty. Mainly for the extra ammo around the map, but the slightly weaker enemies is a nice bonus, gives me the illusion that I'm fairly decent at video games. It doesn't take away from the horror or action experience in my opinion, and the ones I have played so far have been so much fun to play and replay. Yeah, I completely agree. Although, and this is another opinion I have, the Resident Evil fanbase, particularly seemingly on TikTok, is awful. Like, I know there's been a trend recently of people calling each other LARPers, and personally, that just really annoys me. It kind of pushes people away from getting into things casually, because if you don't know everything about the game, you're a fake fan, which I just don't agree with. Like, I would probably be called a Resident Evil LARPer because my favourite game is RE4 and my favourite character is Leon. Those are very basic opinions, but I've also played 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, and I loved all of those. Well, maybe except 8. I didn't like 8 that much. But I think calling someone a LARPer just because they don't know everything about a game series does stop people from getting into it. Like I said, I'm the kind of person who, if I get into a game, I will want to know every single thing about it, but not every person is like that, and I'm not even like that with every single game I play. I could make an entire video on why I hate how the term LARPers is being used on the internet right now, and I might, especially when it comes to video games. And actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna save my opinions on that. If you want me to make a video on that, please do let me know in the comments, and I am more than happy to do so. Because believe me, I have a lot of complaining to do. All Rockstar games are completely ruined by bad controls and their horrendous movement system. So as I previously mentioned in this video, Red Dead Redemption 2 is my all-time favourite game. Yes, it is a very basic opinion, but I will stand by it. I adore that game. But yeah, the movement system is awful. Having to spam X just gets a bit tiring. Like, if you want to sprint in most games, it's like press down the joystick or like toggle this on and off. I think the only other game I played that has a really weird, like, running system like that is Little Nightmares. I have only ever played it on the PlayStation, and to sprint in that game, you need to hold square. I've always thought that was a bit odd, but because I have played those games genuinely more times than you can count on 10 hands, I've kind of just gotten used to it running like that. But I think the way the GTA and RDR movement system is worse than that. I think if they had it where you just hold X, maybe that would be better. Or just press down the joystick like most other games make you run. Although most of the time when I'm playing GTA, I'm probably going to be in a car, so it starts to matter less. But with RDR, I definitely noticed that. Yeah, I would still say it's my favorite game. Open worlds are exhausting. I generally think that definitely depends on the size of the open world and how much decoration is put into it. I'm gonna say it now, and I do think this is controversial. I didn't really like Breath of the Wild that much. I thought that open world was just a bit nothing. Like, I just thought having to go around and find all the places was not the best. But then I think Tears of the Kingdom is a significant upgrade. And have I beat any of the story of Tears of the Kingdom? No, not at all really. Have I run around, built weird stuff, and then quit after about 4 hours? Yeah, and that's fun. I think something like Pokemon Sword and Shield and The Last of Us Part 2 did it right. And yeah, I am comparing those two games. So everything else in the game is quite linear and you don't really have much other option of where to go. And then they have one section that's like open world. Because sometimes having a completely wide open world where it's mostly just fields or forests or swamps, I think that can get pretty boring. I feel like you need landmarks or something that indicates a specific place, because otherwise I think you'll just get lost. Yeah, I feel like it very heavily depends what kind of open world it is. Most games are entirely too long. Game value is tied to how many hours it takes to complete. I'd much rather play an intense, highly graphic, strenuous Saga 2 for 3 hours and beat it rather than play Assassin's Creed for 20 plus hours. Most games I never finish now as I get older. I only have limited time and I'm not spending a month beating one game. I think how long you spend on it also should depend on the kind of game it is. And I know I keep bringing it up, but it is one of my favourite game series of all time, Little Nightmares. I have gotten more than my money's worth of those games because I've just played them time and time again, and I probably will continue to do so even in the future. And I don't even know how much replayability value they have, but I just can't stop replaying them. But for certain story games, I think some of them benefit from being longer. Although I will say an example of a game I think has a fantastic story, but is just a few hours too long, is Uncharted 4. Don't get me wrong, I loved playing through Uncharted 4. I did it in a week. I was very into it. But I do think if they'd shaved off just a couple hours in each section, I probably would have preferred it far more. Some bits just kind of feel like they drag. And I think Lost Legacy kind of fixed this, but at the same time, I'd probably say I just preferred Uncharted 4. I preferred the story at least. But I do think that game should have been 16 hours instead of like 20 something. But that didn't stop me from enjoying it. I don't know, a lot of the games that I play in my free time are games like Minecraft, Stardew Valley, Dave the Diver, Cult of the Lamb, that you can sink as much time into as you want, because you progress the story at your own pace. And I wouldn't even be able to tell you what I preferred. Like, do I prefer a story game where you're kind of forced to progress all the time, or do I prefer it where you can take it at your own pace? I think it largely depends what mood I'm in and what kind of game it is. Like, I'm currently playing through Final Fantasy 15, and you can progress the story pretty much as soon as you want, but you can also do a bunch of unnecessary side quests. But I found I'd much rather just progress through the story in that. But then in another game, I would much rather do all the side quests first. I think it has to be a really good story for me to want to spend all that time on it, or it has to be a game that I get really into that kind of has a repetitive everyday task for you to do, like Stardew Valley. I love managing my farm every morning, but I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much if it had forced you to progress the story, because I just don't think it's that kind of game. Gacha mechanics are not inherently bad, it all depends on how they're implemented. So I actually don't play a lot of gacha games, but I have a lot of friends who really love them. And I think every gacha in the game should be earnable. I don't know, is that a word? You should be able to earn it just by playing the game. Don't make them pay to win, because it makes it unfair for everyone else. Especially if certain things you can pull in that gacha are just significantly better if you pay for them. Like, I think you should earn the right to have better characters, better weapons, better outfits, all that kind of stuff by playing the game. I also think if the gacha is just a side part of the game, it shouldn't be forced upon the player. Like, a game I've played quite a bit of is Infinity Nikki, and I've never bothered with the gacha of that game because I just like dressing up my character in pretty outfits and occasionally doing the story bits. But yeah, to circle back, I think if what you can win or earn will give you a significant advantage, especially in an online game, you should not have to pay to get that, because then it separates players who can't and players who can, and the players who can pay for it will get an unfair advantage against the players who can't, and then it does just make the game really unfair. I think they should be earned through actually playing the game and earning in-game currency by doing like missions, quests, that kind of stuff. And especially don't make it pay to win if the gacha is like the whole point of the game. If everything you do is working towards it, people can just skip over that and pay, and then they're not playing the game, and what's the point of that? Okay, that was my, I guess, little exploration into controversial gaming opinions on Reddit. If you want me to do this again with more gaming opinions, or if you want to give me your own opinions and I will talk about them, please do let me know in the comments. I also plan to do a video like this but with controversial Pokemon opinions on my main channel, so if that's something you're interested in, my main channel is linked at the top of my channel description, so just go on there and click on it. And also, please let me know your thoughts on these controversial opinions. I'm always curious to know what you think. The comment section is always open, as long as you are being respectful. But other than that, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Please do remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you later.